Okay, hey guys, so today we're going to talk about the Dakota building. Dakota building is an apartment in Manhattan, New York. It's a national landmark and it's been featured in movies such as Rosemary's Baby and Vanilla Sky, and it's even been talked about in the Babysitter's Club books, and more recently it's been featured on Riverdale, that TV show. But the reason why I'm going to talk about it today is because it's allegedly haunted. And it's not just haunted by, your random everyday ghost, but it's allegedly haunted by the ghost of John Lennon. The Dakota building was the last building that John Lennon lived in before he was tragically shot and killed right outside of the building. What I think is really cool is that while John Lennon lived there, he claimed to have experienced some paranormal things around him, which I think is really kind of cool. And he said that he encountered the Crying Lady, and the Crying Lady is a woman who is said to roam the halls. He's not the only one who's seen her. So lots of people believe that the Crying Lady is Elise Paisley, and she was the manager of the Dakota for a long time, through the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And what's sad is her son was tragically killed by a truck right in front of the Dakota, and she was really into paranormal, and she claimed to be a psychic. So people think that that's who they see roaming the halls, and that is also who John Lennon saw. So Yoko Ono, who was John Lennon's wife at the time, she lived in the apartment building for 20 years after his death, and she claimed that she would see him sitting at the piano, and that one time he looked at her and said, "Do not be afraid, I am still with you." So Yoko isn't the only one that has claimed to see the ghost of John Lennon. A musician by the name of Joey Haro and a writer by the name of Amanda Moore also claimed to see John Lennon's ghost standing in the doorway of the Dakota, and when they said they saw him, they said that he had a light glowing around him. It was like a strange light, and they also said that they can tell he didn't really want to be bothered or talked to. So the other ghost that resides there is a little girl, and she's nicknamed the Young Girl, and she wears a yellow dress and bounces a red ball around in the hallways. And the very first time she was spotted, a painter said that he was working on, painting the apartments and he saw her, and then she looked at him and said, "It's my birthday." But the weirdest thing about that is that a couple of days later he died by falling down the stairs, and a lot of people claim that they think the little girl pushed him, or the young girl pushed him. And finally, the most terrifying of them all is a ghost that they call the Phantom of the Dakota, and nicknamed the Mad Slasher, which sounds really scary, I know, but what he would do is he or she would be inside the elevator, and it would look like if someone had a knife and they would just slice the panels of the top of the elevator. And they said it was really way too high for someone to do it themselves, and a kid wouldn't be able to do it. And you can tell that the way it was carved, I guess is the word, the way it was carved, it was so deeply carved into the panel that it would have to get replaced every few days or every couple weeks or something like that. So eventually, after this kept happening for so long, they thought that there was people vandalizing the building. So all of the residents decided to make a spy club, because they started getting kind of suspicious of one another and trying to blame one another. So then they thought, let's make a spy club. So they would literally hide in corners with binoculars and stuff. So they never saw anything weird or anything out of the ordinary. The only thing that they said that they did see was lots of people were having affairs. So that's the only thing they found out. So the mystery of the Mad Slasher is still up in the air. No one knows who did it. No one knows who vandalized the elevators. So there are a few other stories that I heard when I was looking this up, and I mean, they're all really cool, but I thought I'd keep this video short and sweet. So just please remember to subscribe if you want to see more spooky videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye.